welcome to the Sunday Footy Show. Hope you are having a great morning wherever you are watching across the country. Back for plenty more fun today. We have Brad Fittler, Andrew Johns, and back for his first show of the year, Billy Slater. How are you, Bill?
I'm well, thank you.
Now, Jai Arrow, our special guest today. Thank you so much for coming on. How are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit worse for wear. Had a few head knocks yesterday and substituted 5 stitches out of my chin to the back of my head. So
5 stitches.
Yeah, we got the 2 points yesterday, and that's all that matters. So it's been a much better day than a loss would be.
What a great game, eh?
Unreal. Look at that.
Did you get much sleep?
I don't usually sleep after a game, but I was in bed about 1:30 yesterday morning and woke up at about 8 o'clock, so I'm happy with that.
So you passed both the HIAs?
Yeah, so I passed both HIAs. I spent 30 minutes in the HIA bin, which was nice and enjoyable. I had to do the protocols and the tests, which are actually quite challenging for rugby league players. So plenty of memory and plenty of balance testings that didn't go too well, but passed both of them. But once you come off 2 HIAs, they won't allow you to go on.
Right. The first one was more winded, but wasn't it? How frustrating is it to actually go through that protocol when you get taken off the field and you know that you haven't actually been concussed?
Yeah, it was frustrating, Bill. I don't know if there's any footage, but I actually feel I just want to say sorry to the club doctor because he copped a good gobful from me, and I wasn't too happy walking down the sideline. It is quite frustrating, but I do understand that they're there to look after us and our health, and for someone who's copped a few head knocks, it's probably the best thing for me.
Well, we're happy to have you on, despite 2 head knocks, that is for sure. So there's plenty coming up on the Sunday Footy Show. We will get up close and personal with the lovable larrikin himself, Jai Arrow. We're going to break down what was an incredible weekend of rugby league. The Blue Wiggle, Anthony Field, joins us for Turn It Up. You want to tune in for that one. And Freddie's pass-off is back, but today it comes with a twist. But first up, we're just going to recap the results so far for round 2. And I think it's safe to say that it was upsets galore. So the Raiders were on fire down in the nation's capital, getting that big win over the Broncos. The Sharkies getting a win up there in Townsville. Jai's Rabbitohs snuck home thanks to that Jamie Humphries field goal. That one was incredible at CommBank Stadium. The Roosters with a monumental upset over the 4-time defending premiers. The Warriors getting their first victory of the season, and Joey's Knights getting home thanks to a Kalen Ponga masterclass. And of course, this afternoon, our Sunday afternoon footy here on Channel 9 from 3 p.m. It is Dylan's Browns Eels up against the West Tigers. They welcome back Api Coruscant and Jareen Buller. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into that one a little bit later on. But first up, it is our Sunday roast. So we're going to take a look at what's hot and what's not in rugby league. We might go to our Sunday salutes, actually. Bill, let's start with you.
I'm saluting the Raiders and the perfect start to the season by the Green Machine. You just spoke about how inconsistent it has been, but they have been one of the consistent teams of the competition. They don't have some of the higher profile players in their key positions, but they just have a real commitment to their game. Ricky Stewart has obviously galvanised the group. I thought that man on screen, Josh Papali'i, and the big red fella as well, he was outstanding. They really took it to probably the 2 best front rowers in the game in Pat Carrigan and Payne Haas. So just committed themselves, and you can see the fans of Canberra. I know they're campaigning for a new stadium down there in the nation's capital, so as long as they're playing like that, they'll put themselves in a good position to get one.
And Joey, I believe you organised 70-odd tickets for young Hugo Savala
on the game day.
On
midday.
debut.
Yeah, a local junior. This is on the party bus going out. You can see they're well hydrated, really enjoying himself. Yeah, local junior, so the community gets right behind it. And he's a reserve grade halfback that played in the middle last 20 minutes. Did his job, defended strong. Huge win by the Roosters. We'll talk about it later, but I still can't believe they won. But, yeah, well done to the Roosters, well done to Hugo. Look at the scenes. You see how much it means to the family and all his mates. It was quite comical watching it all.
It was so cool to see. Everyone there, his family as well.
Yeah. You see how much it brings the community together.
Yeah.
So good.
Jai, now, without notice, who's your salute for this morning?
Yeah, fairly biased, but I got to go with my teammate Jamie Humphries' field goal. Obviously see how well he struck the ball. He was so calm in that situation where it was a nothing play, really. Cody had dropped the ball and Saliva had picked it up and passed it to Jamie. And for a kid that is 3 games into his NRL career to have the cool, calm and collected head like that to strike the ball and put it over for us to win was definitely my salute.
I've been asked by a lot of people, is he single?
I think he is. He's very reserved.
Look out the DMs. They're sliding in. Is that what you refer?
Oh, he'd have to be. Have a look.
Hang on, they are sliding in.
Day one, he walked into the club and Sado had told me you can't really look into his eyes because he's so engaging. And he took his shirt off and I was just in awe of his rig as everyone just saw right
That's
now.
your halfback.
It's how as well, Bill. Just in saying that, how people say the back row is meant to look after the half. He's looking after me at the moment. He's got me in weight, he's got me in physique, and he's got me in size. So I'm loving playing next to him at the moment.
He's a unit, that is for sure. Freddie, I don't know if you can beat that. Hunky Humphreys, but what do you have?
I'm going to try. It's a tough one. We're going to have a history lesson. This is game 2 of the year. So this is a first. I've never seen this before. Someone kick off and score off the kick-off. Scott Drinkwater, right at the end of the game, kicks off, gets a rebound and ends up scoring the try, which took me back to 1968 in the Challenge Cup final between Wakefield and Leeds.
Seen this?
Yeah, now, Wakefield scored on the death. The ball hits the ground. The conditions are terrible. They score a try. Don Fox, brother of the famous Neil Fox, misses the goal in front.
No.
There's actually a documentary about him and talks about his life since then and what sort of effect it's had on him. But that's the only other time I've ever seen a team score off their own kick-off.
Adam Reynolds against the Chooks one year?
No, they got kicked off too.
Yeah. Oh, OK.
Because Dave Taylor ended up running down the sideline. I was sitting just above and watched that game. Actually, because it was funny, the reciprocating game, Anthony Minichello scored in exactly the same scenario. Right. So, but if anyone out there knows of any other game where someone scored off the kick-off, it's got to be obviously NRL level. Find us on where? Where can we find? Find us on...
Slide into Freddie's DMs.
At NRL on
I don't do Instagram.
At NRL on
Go through Jamie Humphrey's DM.
Or Reece Walsh's. I heard Reece Walsh's are
That'd
good.
be full.
Either or. Let's get back on track because this could go anywhere. We might get in trouble. It is now time for our Sunday roast, and I just don't think you could have scripted what unfolded on the weekend, Freddie. There were upsets galore, and I guess it's what rugby league is all about. It really goes to show that this is genuinely the toughest competition in the world, and you'd probably have to say that the game's in the best state that it has ever been in.
Well, that's right, because it's competitive. Week 1, there was a couple of blowout scores and everyone's going, what's happened to rugby league? And we're talking about the depth of clubs and the depth of our players. And all of a sudden, week 2, you got Roosters who turn it around, have a wonderful result against Penrith, and all of a sudden Brisbane go down to Canberra and Canberra give them a touch-up. And it's just a great game. It just shows if you get your mind around what's ahead of you and you work hard and you keep turning up, you can win. And I just thought, having a look at the interviews afterwards on Friday night, firstly James Tedesco, just his reaction to winning that game. And we're lucky enough to get him straight away, which was awesome, man. Just going through the Daniel Tupou try save. Here's the interview. You've had a lot of big moments in your life, in your playing career especially. What was that moment like, saving that try then?
I reckon that's our greatest win as a club. The amount of people we have out, the amount of young boys we got against the Premiers, that was unbelievable. I've got no words. The boys are just unreal.
It was a week ago. We'll stand in the middle of the field at Allianz Stadium. You got beat by 50 and you fronted up. To think how you feel now a week later, can you believe the game can give and take away so much?
A big thing for us is belief. I know a lot of people externally didn't have much belief in us, but we know how hard we work, and I'm so proud of these boys.
And then you throw to Emma, who's standing there with Nathan Cleary. Here's a bloke who's just won his 4th grand final, led his team. They've just won in Las Vegas. They're 1 from 2, so it's not dire straits. But then have a look at his reaction to the loss against the Roosters.
I know how disappointing it is, a frantic finish. What were you saying to your troops in that final set of 6?
It's just that sort of never say die, just keep coming, stay in the fight, and it definitely was our night. We were awful. It's a big wake-up call for us, and maybe we needed it. But yeah, always proud of the way we come home strong and don't roll over and just give up.
There are plenty of, uncharacteristic errors from your side tonight. Can you put your finger on what it was?
Not really. It came from all different areas. Maybe a bit of complacency. just lack of concentration.
It was quite honest, wasn't it, Cleary? I mean, often sometimes they don't give you too much naturally because they're disappointed, but he was brutally honest, Nathan Cleary.
And admitted to maybe a bit of complacency. For such a tough game, it is the mental side of the game is so important. I'll ask you, Jai, like you've got a new coach this year, and I don't see the Rabbitohs playing anywhere near their best, but that mental preparation that Wayne brings, how important is that?
Yeah, it's obviously massive. Rugby league can be such a roller coaster of a game, and as you saw the emotion on both of those boys, the game can be played on a lot of emotion, but you know, Wayne's so good at preparing you mentally right. He always knows the right things to say, and you know, I think looking back at yesterday's game, you know, probably last year, and no disrespect, but I don't feel as though we would have got that job done, you know, especially being 24-12 down with 20 minutes to go. You know, just knowing, having Wayne and what he says, we're able to stay in the fight, continue to stick to the process, I suppose, as you could call it, and things will turn around. And I thought we did that yesterday, and we got the chocolates. And yeah, it's quite satisfying knowing that, you know, when we are behind, we're able to you know, stay in the fight, I guess you could call it, and you know, win those close games. So yeah.
Well, I think one thing what Wayne does do somehow is his teams get fit. I know he puts on his players and he does it nice and early, but you can see a difference in your team already. And, you know, you can't compete if you're not fit, because there's a level of, like, just having oxygen in your brain and your body to be able to actually go to that next level. And you can see with the Dolphins, I watched the Dolphins and I looked at Felice Kafusi, Jeremy Marshall-King, just a couple of their senior players, and just the errors they were making during the game, like really sloppy errors that play the ball and giving penalties away. And I'm just thinking, well, I don't know whatever Wayne does, but I don't see his teams ever come out like that. His teams always come out, they complete high, they play very basic, and they just score some really, you know, players are at their fittest, so they last the whole game. Like, he's just a master.
I think that's a respect thing as well. You know, they respect their coach, so they respect the football, they respect the football team. And when you do that, you don't give away those cheap penalties where you're looking to cut a corner and take a shortcut. So, yeah, I was just thinking over the weekend, it is a tough old game, rugby league, and the mental side of the game is so important. If you're not switched on, you ever look at two of the best teams in round one, the Broncos and Manly. Now, they got beaten in round two. They looked like they were going to win the competition last week. Now, there's a few question marks around them. So, you've got to be switched on every game, and it's a 7-month season, so it's a long year.
I guess Wayne probably also loves that underdog story, would you say? I think when Cam Murray and Latrell Mitchell went down in the same training session, externally, perhaps not in the four walls, but externally, many thought, Rabbitohs might struggle a bit this year without two of their stars.
A lot of people are saying they'll be in the bottom four.
Well, we're trying to be polite,
yeah.
you know.
No, but that's what everyone was saying. I was thinking that. I was thinking without those gun players, they'll be in the bottom four. Even because there's new players in the halves, and Lewis Dodd, the great unknown, and they lose freakish players, and also the big worker in the middle. But everyone's taken up slack.
I think in this situation, Wayne's probably the best coach to have. You know, he's been around the game for so long. I actually saw him this morning down in Malabar, so shout out to you, Wayne. And he went for a run this morning, the big fella. So I think he's the best person in that sense that no matter who comes into the side, he instills, you know, a lot of confidence into that player, and he just knows what to say at the right time and gets the best out of players. I think he's shown that, you know, why he is, you know, I think the best coach to ever coach.
Well, you look at Jai Gray. Now, Jai Gray in 2 weeks has ran for 7 metres short of 600 metres. Well, there's another stat out there for all the nerds of rugby league. If anyone's ever ran 600 metres in 2 weeks, you've got a bloke this tall who's dead set. He's had 30 hit-ups just about each game. He's been incredible, scoring tries. And like you said, he's not playing like Latrell Mitchell. Wayne sends him out to play like Jai Gray and gets busy, and 600 metres. That's an enormous effort.
That's a lot of steps for Jai.
Barney Rubble.
He's so tough, and he's so good to have in your footy side. As you said, Freddie, there's not much of him, but he's deceptively strong as well, and he's courageous, and that's all we've asked for him, just to... Wayne's given him a job, and he's playing that to the best of his ability, and he's probably been our best player of the year so far. So, for a young kid to come into a side and to fill the role of a player like Latrell Mitchell can be pretty hard to do, but he's taken it with open arms. And I think this is the best thing about his game is his defence. He's not afraid to put his body on the line and save tries, and he's dangerous with the ball as well. So we're very lucky to have I was going to say big fella, but I should say little fella.
Big little fella. That poses the question. Latrell Mitchell is obviously in the top handful of fullbacks in the game at his best. Coming back from a hamstring injury, do you find a spot somewhere else for him until he gets his match fitness back? While Joel Gray is doing the job at fullback, that might be an option for Wayne in the next month when Latrell does come back.
That's a question for Wayne, that one.
Yeah. Wonder if he's thinking about that now or...
Slide into his DMs.
Mate, he's very calculated, I find. He's very calculated, Wayne, and he knows what to do. So it'll be very interesting to... I feel as though Jai has to fit into the footy side somewhere when Latrell comes back. So Wayne will have his calculated thought process going through his mind, and he'll come up with the right option.
Well, you can interchange him.
Cronulla.
Like coming out of trouble, you don't want Latrell doing the tough work. Put him at left centre there, and once you get into good ball, set starts, you just swap them over. Simple.
Well, I feel like with Latrell as well.
You're welcome.
He can be one of Latrell can be. He's one of the best fullbacks in the game, and he's one of the best centres in the game as well. So. Wherever he wants to play, he can play.
Well, Origin too. Did you play last year down in Melbourne?
No.
No, he was unstoppable. Like him and Angus on that left, they were just brutal.
What about Brandon Smith? Wayne, as you said, he's very calculated, but in his press conference, he said, I want Brandon here. And often will shy away from answering the questions, but said, no, hopefully we can get a deal done. Brandon had said, hopefully Wayne forgives me because he'd knocked him back at the Dolphins, but would you love to see Brandon in Cardinal and Myrtle, and do you know him well?
I know him fairly well, and absolutely, I love what he brings to a footy side. His energy, he chases contact, and he's a footy player. So anyone that wants to come to our club with that plays with that much emotion and that much energy, I'd love to play with that player for sure.
Yeah, we all know the character of Brandon, and that off the field he can get a little bit sidetracked. I think it'd be a perfect situation to go to a team coached by Wayne Bennett for Brandon Smith. And to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if it happened this year. Wouldn't surprise me if they worked out a deal that Brandon would go this year. I know the Roosters are not looking to rebuild, but they're looking to bolster their squad for the years to come, and that might just free up a little bit of salary cap to help them move forward as well.
Well, they get Reece Robson next year, the Roosters.
Yeah.
So at the moment, Connor Watson's doing a great job. I'd love to see Connor Watson maybe not play as much hooker because I don't want to batter him around. He's making such a difference in his speed. But Peter Mamazelis, mate, he was fantastic. He scored the try, laid on another try. I thought the little blokes on your team, they were good last week against the Dolphins as well, but he stood out yesterday as well, Mamazelis.
Yeah, he really did. I thought that was Pete's probably best game for us, and he's crafty out of nine as well. Pete, he probably doesn't have the speed that, say, Cookie had and things like that, so he has to use his brain a little bit more. But defensively, he's been really strong, and that's something that Wayne's really wrote him about, is just to be strong defensively and in attack, just play a game, just play Oz up footy. And he set up the last try yesterday to draw the game with Kepi scoring that try, and he's someone as well. Kepi, Wayne's got him firing. He was
going good, isn't he?
He was absolutely unreal yesterday as well. So I thought I'd give the big fella a rap.
Well done. Well,
Nice.
Matty Nicholson, NRL debut, and he scores within 8 minutes. Nicholson again. Nicholson is over. Great effort. Try Matty Nicholson, number 2, for the man on debut from the English Super League.
how good was Matty Nicholson, the Englishman, with a double on his NRL debut? And Joey, it wasn't just Matty Nicholson, but that entire Raiders pack were on fire. They were just bashing the Broncos through the middle.
It was a Ricky Stewart ambush. As soon as you saw Ricky on the sideline just stalking and like a spitting cobra, you knew they were on. They just bustled. They put so much energy into their effort areas, and they were all up for the game. You could see it early. This bloke was sensational. So was Big Red. Geez, he was good. He looks lighter, more mobile, still aggressive, but Yeah, I thought their forward pack was just sensational. Geez, it was a good game to watch.
No, the hooker was good. He was lively.
He looks lighter too, Papali'i. He looks a lot lighter than what he's been.
They just went after the physical game a bit more than the Broncos. It just shows you don't have the big names and the big stars, and you can still compete with anyone, and that's what the Raiders are doing at the moment. They're just committing themselves to the physical part of the game, and they attacked both with and without the footy.
Saved plenty of tries as well. So there was a stat there for a while. I think Brisbane had 20 tackles in Canberra's compared to 4 or 5 of Canberra in the Brisbane 20 metres, and saved plenty of tries. They backed each other. I thought their back rowers did a great job on Hunt and Adam Reynolds. They'll just at him all game. Saw Nicholson score a couple of tries. Hudson Young was brilliant. He was at Reynolds all day, just palming him off, getting at him, making him work. And I thought it cost them. I thought them two were brilliant last week, the way they guided the team. And I think they went with a great game plan and it worked.
Jai, what do you think the Raiders this year? I mean, Ricky Stewart's the type of coach that he loves an underdog story as well, and he loves proving people wrong. But the Raiders are a side you can just never underestimate, particularly at home.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know we're only 2 rounds in, but they're probably above shoulders at the moment in terms of the way people are playing footy. And I think a big focus on for them, and Jamal spoke about it in the press conference, is probably their consistency. They want to be a consistent side, and I thought they were outstanding. I actually got home to watch the game and thought they were really good. They looked fit, and their outside backs look really strong. They're hard to handle, and it definitely showed last night.
He's a good player, the winger, Tamale. Savalia Tamale. He's strong. He got a ball once. The ball hit the ground. He picked it up and just took off. I thought he's only going to go 100. The gap closed, but to watch him accelerate, he's a player.
What was it? No Savage and no Tarpanay.
No Tarpanay, no captain.
Yeah, still to come back. That was a big win by the Raiders. The Broncos, boys, where do we see them? Obviously, they were really impressive. Round 1, put 50 points on the Roosters, and then couldn't back that type of performance up. What would Michael Maguire be thinking now?
I don't think any team would have beat Canberra last night. I think they were still really good. They just stopped so many tries. They would have stopped 4 or 5 out-and-out tries. And that's the name of the game. You score your half chances and you stop the half chances. Now, they'll be fine. What are they? Friday night, they got the Cowboys up at Suncorp. You'll see a change of team next week.
Well, the pressure's now on you, Billy. Like watching Reece. Reece had one of those games where I think he made 4 or 5 errors and plenty of passes went to ground, and he looked a little bit frustrated, and Canberra got in his face. I suppose the question is going to come at you every week, Kalen.
Yeah.
Reece.
Well, sometimes when you're so used to finding space and things happening for you, you get the pressure of it happening all the time. So, the thing for not just Reece, but a young fullback and a young star player that finds space is to not go looking for it, is to look for that real tough side of the game, the commitment side of the game, the team side of the game. And when you get that, then the space will just happen for you. So I don't think it was just their fullback. I think it was a whole lot of players. But, those questions,
I'm going to ask every
yourself.
week.
It's round 2.
Every week I'm going to sit here and
I could answer that. I know if I was defending, I wouldn't want Kalen with the ball. We'll talk about him later. Frightening.
Well, we spoke about Origin even in week 1 when you said Turbo should be the fullback for New South Wales.
Yeah.
What about the Broncos, though? Do you think after that incredible win over the Roosters in round 1, did they buy into that hype a little bit? Because I know you got to stay focused and you're at training, but you can't escape it. I mean, if you're on social media and even if you're not watching the news, even going down for a coffee, everyone's giving you a rap. You can't completely ignore the hype.
I think it's a hard game. Like we spoke about Penrith and the Roosters in the first round. They went down there, they made more errors than they did against the Roosters, and then Canberra just piled on a heap of pressure. And they got behind on the scoreboard, and all of a sudden they had chasing points, just fell apart. So they learned a pretty good lesson.
I've got no doubt that every team goes to training and consciously they're thinking of the right things. I've got no doubt about that, but it's what is in your subconscious. What drips into your mind that you don't even know it's dripping into, whether it's through social media, listening to this show, reading the paper, whatever it is, listening to family members telling you how good you went last week, that feeds into your subconscious and stays in there. So no one's immune to complacency, and there were a few teams that would be guilty of that this week.
How's your subconscious at the moment? I'd love to know what your subconscious.
What is dripping into that, Brian?
It's fairly relaxed, to be honest. I'm not a have to do 100 million things in a day. I'm more just cool, calm, collected.
Are you a social media man?
You're about to be a father.
Yes, I'm about to be a father, so I've got a lot going on off the field as well, which Wayne loves their players getting away from footy and I suppose getting into the real world. And I'm expecting a little girl in the next couple of weeks or so. The missus is 37 weeks on Tuesday, so.
Did you do the balloon thing? Did you?
No, I didn't do a balloon thing. I was actually, how did we find out? So we were in Sicily, in Italy, and family friends over there had, obviously, I knew what it was. I knew it was the inevitable for me having a girl. So it was like, just sort of wrapping socks, and then a little pink little teddy bear came out with Baby Arrow on it. So it was nice and cool.
We're going to talk a bit more about that a little bit later. We've got plenty to discuss in your personal life, your surgery. I mean, whatever you're happy to divulge, that is for sure. But we'll see what's going on in that subconscious, that is for sure.
Not much. Give me head knocks.
But don't forget, the Broncos do have a chance to bounce back. Friday Night Footy next week, it is up against the Cowboys. You can catch all of that live and free on 9. Everyone loves a Queensland derby.
That is not good enough from North Queensland. Brightly with the ball. There's the pass to Nickera. Kennedy, fingertips, stone straights. Wilton scores in the corner for Cronulla. And it's not a happy night for the Cowboys.
36-12, the final score up in Townsville. The Sharkies getting the job done after their loss to the Panthers in round 1 over in Vegas. Wasn't overly pretty or flashy, but a gritty win nonetheless, particularly, Billy Slater, given the fact that Craig Fitzgibbon revealed after the match that they had 5 players who were struggling with COVID, 5 players with the flu as well, and still managed to come away with the victory.
That's more than half their team, so that's quite impressive. Huge travel kilometres for the Sharks early in this season to go to Vegas and then to back up and head up to North Queensland, which the conditions, we all know what they're like at this time of the year. The Cowboys aren't travelling overly well, but they still had to do the job, and they put on plenty of points. So
they use a heat policy, so talk about conditions. It was extra hot.
How much tougher does that make it?
Going up there, very tough.
It was 80% humidity in Townsville. Will Kennedy had a good game too.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
He's improved out of sight.
I thought all their outside backs were outstanding. Kyle Hero scored a couple of tries.
He's improved out of sight.
Stone Street played well, and I thought Ronaldo was most probably the best.
So I'm watching them. They got inexperienced halfback, young fellow Dufty. I look at the Knights the other night, the way they used Kalen as a halfback and split their halves either side. Maybe they want to do that same with Drinkwater. Drinkwater's the most creative player on the field, whether they split their halves up, which takes pressure off the young Dufty, and let Drinkwater be. Anyway, but they're struggling. They're struggling. Especially with their forwards aren't going forward. So for a young halfback, it makes it very tough.
with the footy, I felt there was a couple of things. I felt they looked disorganised. They didn't look like they knew what they were trying to do. And then they looked really flat. They didn't look like they were getting deep and running onto the football. Without the footy, I think defensively is their biggest concern. And when you have 5 change of positions in your edges, so you've only got 8 edge players and 5 of those are new. You've got a new halfback, a new winger, 2 new back rowers and a new centre. And 2 of those guys have only played 2 NRL games. So there's some inexperience and change of combinations defensively on the edge. That's where all the Sharks' tries came. All of the Sharks' tries came on the edge of the field. So, I don't think it's panic stations at the Cowboys, although they have had 78 points scored against them in the first 2 rounds.
Well, they dropped one of their best players last week as well.
No. He'll be back. Oh, well, he'll have to come
Well, he was
back.
dropped last week. They put Jason Taumalolo, I think, played for the Blackhawks on the weekend. So,
But this isn't going to be fixed by bringing players in. This is going to be fixed by building that continuity of your edge defence. Too many players are doing different things, and we just know how hard the edge is to defend. It's a split-second decision. It's a real feel with your edges, and I think that's a real concern for him at the moment.
I'll ask Jai, you've played with Tommy Dearden. Do you think he's got the voice and the dominant voice and the way he plays to play halfback?
Yeah, I think he does, but I think Tommy's a good runner of the footy, and I think he may need to go back to doing what he does well, and I think he's a tremendous runner of the footy. He's got a good voice out there. He probably needs to be that dominant half at the moment, having an inexperienced half as well. So I have no doubts he can do the job, but look, I think they just need to get back to it's cliche, but get back to the drawing board, work hard at training. It's obviously not going to be a fix overnight, but work on their edge defence, and anything could happen. Just keep sticking at it, and things will come.
Are they playing themselves in to buy? They'll win that.
That's a tough run. Broncos, Raiders, Panthers.
I only looked at the horns.
What for Todd Payton? How do you, after conceding 78 points in the first 2 rounds, and as we know, defence is all about attitude. How does he? Because their confidence is going to be super low. How does he pull them out of that? If you're not going to keep dropping troops, if that's not the answer to keep dropping players.
No one knows what's going on up there. Firstly, no one knows why they really dropped him. They're not going to drop him because he missed a couple of tackles. So you got Jake Clifford also coming off the bench.
Would you put Clifford into the starting side again?
Well, I would, but I don't know what's going on up there.
Yeah,
I definitely would, because young Duffy's just too young at the moment for this type of pressure, I think.
Especially in a team that's struggling.
They've got Brisbane next week as well, so pretty big ask.
Yeah, I think they need to look at their systems. I think they need to look at their edge defence systems.
When you say look at your systems,
well,
people, you hear that all the time. What is this?
It's quite hard to explain sitting here on the couch, but on the edge, you've got split seconds to make a decision, and you nearly need to know what the inside and outside guy of you are doing.
Disjointed.
They look disjointed. One guy's going in, the other guy's staying back, and that's what's creating the space for the creative players on the edge.
OK, well, I'll ask this. Have they got too many systems in the defence? Should they just have one system and stick to that?
To Freddie's point, we don't know what's going on up there. We don't know everyone's got a different system. Everyone has an edge coach, and everyone do different things. And there's more than one way to do things. But the key is for everyone in the team to do the same thing. That's the key for the edge defence.
They've lost Jimmy Maloney.
I saw Jimmy last week at the races.
He had them all stable, Jimmy.
He wasn't stable Saturday, let me tell you. He was in a good group.
You need someone like Jimmy, a goldfish. You do something awful, and then you come up with,
Jimmy's good
something miraculous.
It keeps things light-hearted. When things are going not too great and everyone's a bit serious, you can rely on someone like Jimmy just to lighten the mood. Always. And then he's an absolute punish and just drives people mad. Hey, Jimmy, how are you?
We love you, Jimmy. I saw him a few weeks ago, actually. Jai, up next, we're going to get up close and personal with you, so very much looking forward to that, talking all things becoming a father, come back from injury, a bit more about the Bunnies as well.
Now with Arrow. Oh, he got away from Whiten. Look at him go. What a player.
Oh, Jai Arrow there gets himself in an awkward position with that shoulder.
It was more, the pain during the game and things like that, and I am so excited to finally be out there without, I suppose, the mental doubt with the injury.
Bang, what a tackle. Jai Arrow. Oh, that is brilliant defence.
I'm fully fit now. I'm fully ready to go. I'm looking forward to being back out there 100%.
Unbelievable! That is incredible! Passes mid-air. Jai Arrow comes through.
Just enjoying my footy again, and it's all starting to happen now for me. My life's it is changing for the good, no doubt.
On the inside, Jai Arrow goes in.
Yes, Jai Arrow, the lovable larrikin himself. We are very lucky to have him on the couch, and it is time to get a little bit up close and personal, if you're all right with that. Let's talk about your off-season first off. So you had surgery on your birthday, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
Is that right? You were holding off to see if the Bunnies could still make the finals, and it was a week-by-week proposition and eventually went under the knife for a big happy birthday.
Yeah, I was actually quite excited. One of the best birthday presents I've probably got is to go under the knife and...
Because of the anaesthetic.
Yeah, because of the anaesthetic, Joey. It's, I don't know if you've had it, but it's absolutely unreal. So, yeah, obviously knew it was going to be a lengthy process, and I was meant to get the surgery a fair few months before, but last year, obviously, we didn't have the luxury with the amount of injuries we had. So, you know, I was happy to put my hand up and go for as long as I needed to for the team. And just so happened on my birthday, the club decided to give me the leeway to go under the knife and have my rotator cuff repaired.
There were plenty of those situations that we just saw on screen there throughout last year where, you know, you could see that you were carrying a shoulder injury. It was public knowledge, but you still laced the boots up. What's it like now, the last couple of weeks, putting your boots on, knowing that you've got a healthy body to go out there and perform? Yeah,
last year, Bill, was, I suppose, I didn't have any doubt, you know, the way I was going to play footy, but, you know, unconsciously, it definitely had... I was not nervous, but, you know, it was deep down, I was hurting with the shoulder. Yeah, I knew it was there. And, you know, last week and yesterday, I just had no doubts whatsoever with it. I was just happy to go out there and put my body on the line as much as I could for the team. Obviously, yesterday was a bit unfortunate with the two HIAs I had to go off with, but knowing that I'm able to go out and still strapped up a fair bit, but it's not as much as I was last year, that's for sure.
What about away from footy? You grew up on the Gold Coast, played for Brisbane, then back to the Gold Coast. How do you find playing footy living in Sydney?
I love it. I am at home with South Sydney. This is my 5th year at the club now, and I bought a house down here, and you know, I met my partner, or my fiancée now, I guess, and the mother of my soon-to-be child. So I'm absolutely loving my time in Sydney, and obviously I was actually very nervous coming down. There was only a fair few people that I knew at the club at that time, and that was Wayne, JD and Sewer and Gags, and didn't really know anyone coming down and was fairly nervous, but I had the opportunity and came down, and have loved every moment since. So, you know, no regrets, and you know, really finding Sydney a home at the moment.
What about the Gold Coast? Everyone looks to the Gold Coast and we wonder, such beautiful places. You know, obviously you can train all year round. Why doesn't the Gold Coast succeed? Have you got a theory around that?
Any sport, really.
Yeah.
The AFL's not that good, is it?
I don't know if... I don't know, to be honest, Joey. I came up with the AFL, but I don't know what it is. Obviously, you know, there was that year the Gold Coast made the finals, the year I left, just quietly. But look, it's definitely a tough one, I suppose. Me being from the Gold Coast, I guess people can say that the lifestyle and things like that, a bit of complacency, but you know, I don't think it's that. I think it's just there might be something going on with the Gold Coast. Who knows? There might be a few witchcrafts or things up there, like you said, not fair, Joey.
What about what about fatherhood? I loved your press conference a couple of weeks ago when you were chatting about that. But do you think it's going to change you as a person and as a man?
I think it already has changed me, to be honest. I'd said pretty openly it scared the living daylights out of me, and I've had to, you know, really reflect on, you know, how I want to be as a man and as a person, and I've had to, you know, as soon as my partner had told me that she was pregnant, I, you know, straight away thought, all right, what am I going to do after footy? And give this a little bit of a plug. I'm just finished my diploma with Jacob Host in finance broking, and we're now finance associates for a company called Cambridge Finance. So yeah, had a lot going on off the off season. Obviously, got engaged, and yeah.
How'd you do it?
Going on. So that's in Italy, in Taormina, in Sicily. So. It was after we did the little gender reveal thing, and I had family friends there, and Byron, his name is, had said, how about we go down and get photos down in the water? And I went, well, perfect, this is a perfect opportunity. And his partner, Michelle, had given me the box with the ring, so they flew it over there, and was completely calm and completely thought I was cool, calm and collected. And once I got the box and looked at it, my heart just started pounding. Was so nervous, and then had this big spill in my head that I was going to say to her, and then I reckon I mumbled for about 10 seconds and just went, will you marry me? So it was hopefully it was one of the greatest days of her life, but it was a nice day for myself.
Back to footy, you got probably one of the best jobs in the game playing outside Cody. What's it like playing with Cody?
I did. I got shafted from that because Cody doesn't like me, so... But obviously
yesterday you were on the left side.
No, I was on the right. Yeah, I'm with the other specimen in Jamie Humphries. But I played a lot of footy with Cody on the edge. He's just one of those players that he picks the right option more than not. So hence why I'm running decoys for him. He's so cool, calm, and collected, but he can be fiery as well. And I don't mind that part of the game when it's it's aggressive. It's the contact side of things and a little bit of niggle, and he's in both of those parts.
What about your position? You're talking about playing on the edge. You've played in the middle as well. Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a middle forward or an edge forward?
Personally, Bill, I do see myself as an outright middle forward, and we've obviously. I'm assuming that when Ewan Aiken comes back, he is an edge forward, and I'm assuming I'll find myself in the middle when he comes back. But looking at I definitely call myself a middle forward for sure at the start.
What about Queensland? How do you what's it like playing for Queensland, and do you see yourself as someone who can play for Queensland?
Yeah, Bill will tell you it's a pretty special feeling, and there's no other feeling like it than walking in the sheds. You see your name on the back of the jersey, and you're representing your family, and not only that, you're representing the whole of Queensland as well. It's something that I've been able to do a fair few times now, and I've loved doing. And is it on my mind at the moment? I wouldn't say that it's completely on my mind, and
it's in your subconscious.
It's in me subconscious, but I think for myself, it's more just getting over this shoulder surgery and being back consistently and getting minutes and playing footy. And when I'm playing my best footy and I'm having fun playing footy, then rewards sort of reap off the back of that, Freddie. So I'm just looking to do my job for South first, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Joe, we appreciate you opening up. You're going to stick around for the rest of the show. And oh, yes, it was a match for the ages. The Roosters getting the job done 38-32 over the four-time defending premiers, the Panthers. No one gave the Roosters a chance. We spent the entire off-season talking about the fact that they'd lost so much experience. Then they lose Victor Radley and Lindsay Collins as well after getting pumped in round one. And then, Freddie, we were there on the sideline. You just could not have scripted what unfolded. And the fact that the Panthers nearly came back at the end.
Well, they scored after 2 minutes, the Panthers. It was incredible. Everyone just sat back and just thought, this is going to be awful, this is going to be embarrassing. But they just fought away. They just kept fighting, the Roosters, and they just kept turning up for each other. They scored that on the bell to take it to 18 all at half-time. And I think the biggest thing was half-time, the coaches and how they're going to come out of it. But Sandon Smith, I thought, Mark Nwanganetawasi come up with a couple of brilliant passes. Daniel Tupou, he now is the 6th highest try scorer in the game. Like, 6th highest try scorer, amazing.
How good was their captain?
Teddy's just a machine.
He was incredible. There'd been a few question marks over him in the last 12 months, but boy, he was the glue to that team. And you're right, they all had a go. Sandon Smith just took the game on.
Connor Watson, busy.
Freddie, you know Teddy better than us, having spent so much time with him in Blues camp. What is it about James Tedesco that would have inspired the rest of his teammates? What is he like as a leader that we don't see?
Well, James coming to the stage where he's coming to the end of his career. Now, he's captain of this team, and he's going to leave a legacy. He's already captained a couple of grand finals in 18 and 19. And this is going to be, the coach would have said to him, mate, we've got a big option here. We can either face this and attack it, or we can, use our excuses about all our players gone and we got injuries, and he just attacked it. And it's hard to watch Teddy play, and if you're in his team, not to be motivated and inspired by the way he plays. He just attacks everything. He's wholehearted, always looking for the ball, always trying to make tackles. So that's what he did, and they all just kept working. And you know what? Penrith fell apart because they didn't get into a rhythm. I very rarely saw Nathan kick down in their chase team went down and hustled them into a corner. Like, the game was stop-start, a lot of drop balls, penalties. It never got into any sort of rhythm, but they just kept turning up. There's the moment.
I know it was a plan. You know those coach kicks where they put them up when you're 40 out? They kick deliberately short to compete. Now, I've never seen anyone exploit Brian Toto. Everyone talks about, you know, how tall he is, but this was the first night I saw them exploiting their wingers. And they got 4 or 5 errors out of it. What about Penrith?
6 errors the wingers made.
What about Penrith? Dylan Edwards, how bad do you reckon that is? Like, we've both had bad groins. Carried him for like 12 months, 18 months. They just don't get right. The way he's hobbling there is a bad sign. When he came off, you could see him actually grabbing at the attachment.
Well, you can actually see the tape coming out of the back of his shorts. So he's obviously got some strapping on his right adductor there already.
It's an overuse injury, or can be an overuse injury, and we all hear about how fit he is. But him, Isaiah Yeo, Nathan, Liam Martin, they've played Origins, semi-finals, tours. They're not machines.
Do you think the workload's getting to them?
The workload. It's just...
and the way they play too.
And the way they play. It's really tough on them. Really tough.
Dylan Edwards is waiting on results of scans this morning, but he played through a couple of years ago a fractured foot, played an entire final series in a fractured foot. So you know if Dylan Edwards comes off, it's well and truly serious. So waiting on news this morning as to how bad that is. But, Jai, you have them in round 4, I believe, the Penrith Panthers.
Yes, we do.
Looking forward to that one?
Yeah, no, it's always good to come up against the quality sides, and Penrith have been the best side for over 4 or 5 years now. So it's always good to come up against those boys, but a few injuries might be nice.
They got Storm.
They got the
Thursday
Storm,
night.
down there. Storm this week. We've seen plenty of teams
Storm coming off
this
the
week.
bye.
So the Panthers coming off a loss and the Storm coming off a bye. That'll be, when's that, Thursday? Friday?
Thursday night. Yeah.
That'll be a cracker.
Thursday night.
Could you tweak any changes, Freddie?
I'm trying to think who's to come through.
Liam Henry's there, would you?
Liam Henry, I think they could be a little bit bigger. Like, normally they would have started with Moses and James Fisher-Harris. At the moment, Lindsay Smith, who's a real worker,
Isaiah Papali'i, he didn't play in round 2's clash.
He'll be back. They said it was only a minor injury.
Blaze Talangi there as well. Where he fits in, if he fits in, he's a quality player. So they have got some options.
They missed a lot of tackles.
Well, they're used to defending 15 points. Like last year, they had 15 points averaged a game. I think Cronulla scored 22 and they beat them, and then Roosters scored 38. So they're well behind what they're normally chasing.
And it come down to one moment. There was a moment right at the end of the game where Toto had a chance to score a try, and it was Daniel Tupu who pushed him into touch. So, they were that far away from, Nathan kicking to lock it up and take it to golden point. Here's the moment here. Toto's got this and he scored plenty of them. That was a big play by Tupu.
Well, you look at the try he scored at the other end. That was ridiculous, how he scored that other try. The Roosters were down to 12 players. They spent the last, 7-8 minutes with someone in the sin bin. Nathan had that huge call when they were 14 behind to kick the goal to go 12 behind, and then they scored in the corner and he missed the goal. So that sort of put his thinking and his mathematics a bit out of whack. But I think they got a penalty later on, which allowed him to come within a try. So it was an incredible game to watch. Incredible, just the way, Penrith, they just don't give up. They don't give up. They're just, you say they're not machines, but sometimes when you watch them, they just find something all the time.
Half human, half machine.
AI.
Cyborg.
Artificial intelligence.
Isn't that a breakfast? Cyborg?
Yeah, I had it this morning.
Cyborg. There we go. We're going into another area completely, but a Thursday night, Melbourne. Drip feeding all afternoon, that's for sure. Melbourne, Penrith, Thursday night, live and free right here on 9, the grand final rematch. You don't want to miss it. But Warriors, Seagulls. What a win it was for the Warriors, 36-16, getting the job done over the Seagulls at home, bouncing back from that disappointment over in Vegas. We do have the latest on the injury to Tom Trbojevic as well. It is 50-50 news. The Seagulls are saying that he's a 50-50 chance of playing next week, Freddie.
Wow.
So
that's great.
It's only minor, and looks like Daly Cherry Evans should play.
Is that 50-50? We made that up.
No, that's Michael Chavis has just tweeted it. Breaking news. that he's a 50-50 chance of playing next week. So great news for the Sea Eagles, but...
Well, that would indicate that the injury isn't overly concerning. It should be a short-term injury, which is great for Tom because he's had some long-term hamstring issues in the past. So I'm sure they won't be risking Tom if he is 50-50, but good news that it's not long-term.
It was an amazing game. They actually started where they finished last week, the Sea Eagles. They scored a try in the first couple of minutes. And then a bit like what Brewer saw in Brisbane, just made a lot of errors, allowed the Warriors back into the game. Although Luke Metcalf was outstanding, scored a try, set up a couple. And then they just had this momentum, the Warriors. They just kept coming, a bit like Canberra. They just hungry for the ball, hungry for the contest, and ended up scoring plenty of points.
How do the Warriors find that consistency? What do they got to do, Bill? To do this every week and every week on the road. What do they got to do?
They got to look at the two different performances. The round one performance where they didn't commit themselves, to that tough side of the game, the defensive side of the game.
But how do they do that?
Train harder.
Do you think it's an individual thing?
Well, first game in Las Vegas, I think I could excuse some teams not to be their best.
It's been happening for 25 years.
Well, that's why That's why they agreed to pay James Fisher-Harris the money, because he's been in a system that has been so consistent for so long. 5 years, Penrith have finished in the top two. And they've got one of their leading players. I reckon they're hoping that, James Fisher-Harris, the way he trains, the way he behaves, hopefully rubs off on the team, and they do that. But I've got to say, they're pretty impressive.
Well, maybe the form line isn't that bad. We saw it with Canberra. Happened last night, what they did to the Broncos. Maybe the form line's not too bad. But we need the Warriors in the finals. We need the Warriors like in the early 2000s when Stacey and all those boys were on fire in the grand final. That's what we need off the Warriors.
Joey, what did you make of Luke Metcalf?
Very good.
The final try, he did a bit of a silence to the critics. Andrew Webster said post-match that he thought the criticism on Luke Metcalf was unfair coming into this match. Filling the shoes, of course, of Sean Johnson, but pretty handy 80 minutes from him.
I really like him as a player, and he'll come into that side of the game management because his whole career, even probably when he was young in the juniors, is based around running game and his speed. So the game management's going to happen when the game starts to slow down for him. No Sean. We know what Sean was like the last couple of years, how dominant. So just be patient. It's going to take some time, but some really good signs. I think he's a top-line halfback for sure.
Which is a great attribute to have, that speed, that running game. Like, he can learn the other stuff. You can't learn speed. You can't learn to have that instinctive running game, but it'll all come to him. He's just starting out on his career.
I think if you've got to shush the crowd, you're listening to the wrong people. You don't want to sit there playing with the crowd, shushing them or throwing money out to them, whatever they're doing. I think, you're spending too much time listening to the wrong people.
You don't like players doing this stuff, Freddie.
Just vomiting the whole night.
Wow.
Anyway, I did see something marvellous, actually. The pre-game, they did a handover. Tohu Harris, the captain from last year, did like a...
They were handing over the captaincy, essentially.
It's like a cultural thing.
To James Fisher-Harris.
Is that a Mouldy
leadership?
A Mouldy
passing on the leadership
tradition, a Mouldy, because he was dressed in traditional, like a.
Handed over a couple of objects.
Actually.
But I thought it was fantastic. Here
it is.
This is literally as the teams were running out. So Tohu Harris has come out, and the rest of the boys are actually running out behind them. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. No wonder the team went on to fight their way back into a game and go on and win it quite easily. Motivating.
They did say they wanted to do it for Tohu Harris. He and his family were there on show. So big win for the Warriors, that is for sure. Stay with us here on the Sunday Footy Show. Turn It Up is up next, and we have a very special guest. We have the Blue Wiggle and a West Tigers tragic Anthony Field. But of course, as well, don't forget that The Manly Way is out now. It's on 9 now, and it's an inspiring look into what is driving the Sea Eagles in 2025.
Hello, my name's Bo. You've been a Manly supporter long as I can remember. Growing up here in the Northern Beaches, I just love my team. I went to Monroe Raiders, played a bit of halfback there, loved that for a few seasons, and unfortunately got diagnosed with cancer, and now I haven't been able to, currently battling that. It's so hard just going to games, watching all my mates playing, not being able to, but currently watching the boys train right now, and it's the thing keeping me going. So Tom Trebojevic came in the hospital to see me when I first got diagnosed in April. He said, if I score, is there a celebration? And I said, Vivac's gold. He said, if he scores, he'll do it. He crossed over the line and he did it. And we were in hospital watching on the TV. We all started crying. That's my home screen. So that was when he did a thumbs up celebration. That just reminds me to keep going at the home screen. But I reckon we can get the job done this year. I believe in them, and yeah, it's a pretty good team. Hello?
Got you a gator.
Oh, thank you.
Get that in you. You need it after the hard session, mate. How'd we train?
Yeah, good. Good.
Were you happy?
Yeah.
Did you meet some of the boys?
Oh yeah, I met a few. How was it eye?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Got a good elbow to it last week.
She'll be right.
Yeah, no, I'll be alright. I'll be alright. It's good.
Thank you.
How you been, mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah, having radiation.
Yeah.
So yeah, got more about this elbow. Yeah, I got a fracture in my thigh.
How'd you do that?
The cancer pushing on it. Fractured
really?
it. Yeah, so I haven't been able to walk for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, slowly getting back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Get in the gym doing some upper body then, man.
Oh, I'll max out every machine.
What I'm going to do, I'll go and get you a kicking tee as well.
Sure?
You like that?
Yeah.
I'll go and sign a kicking tee for you. I'll bring one out, eh?
Thank you so much.
Yeah? There you go.
Thank you so much.
No worries. All good.
Thank you.
Have a good day. No worries.
Yeah.
Have you got it signed yet?
No.
Do you want me to go take it round?
Yes, please. I've got the pen.
Got your pen?
Okay, you good to go?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's go.
enjoy.
Thank you.
Who have we got here, coach?
Yes, please.
Sign it.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How about you?
I'm good. I'm Lachlan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. For the man cave.
For the man cave.
Yeah, loving it. Best day ever.
Best day ever?
Yeah.
You've got to come around more often, eh?
I'd love to.
Yeah, good to see you,
Thanks, mate. How old are you?
I'm 12.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
How's
Playing
your...
footy.
Love it. How's your haircuts going? Well, she's cut.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
If you ever want one, come
Love
down,
one.
we'll organise. I'll give you some free cuts for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm always working, so. Yeah, 100%. We could do some sick haircuts.
What do you
now.
want to do with it? Be good.
Do you want a pair? Do you want my boots?
Yes, please.
Oh, too easy. These are old ones.
That's fine. I'll be sniffing them every night.
You're alright.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Find somewhere safe.
I will. And so I'm having radiation today, Savo, and finish that on Wednesday. So just in my arm, been getting really, really bad pains. I'm on heaps of endone every day. And so yeah, just taking it as the day comes.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
yeah.
And you might be able to kick again.
Hopefully, yeah, because the cancer putting pressure on my leg broke my thigh, fractured my thigh. So I haven't been able to walk.
Do you know what? I don't even for 1 second know what you're going through, but I can tell you one thing. At any time when you feel like it's a bit hard, you just think about the Manly boys and we've all got your back, okay?
Thank you.
All right, we'll be thinking of you and we'll be cheering for you.
Thank you.
Okay, you got this.
No, thank you.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
So you want to be a champion?
Hello, welcome to Turn It Up, and we have a special guest today. Now, do I call you Anthony Field or are you the Blue Wiggle? Which one?
Whatever you like, Joey.
Okay.
I'll do that.
The Blue Wiggle, Anthony Field.
The OG.
The OG.
How did it all start? You were in the band called the Cockroaches, which had a lot of success. Whose idea was it to start a kids' band?
No, well, what happened to the Cockies were going real well, but then Paul, there's a bit tragic story, but Paul lost his baby to cot death, Paul, the singer of the Cockies, and it sort of became not much fun being on the road anymore. It was like sort of, so I said to myself, I've got to go get a job or, another trade. So I became a preschool teacher. I went to uni. Sorry, mate.
No, keep going.
Oh, yeah. So I went to uni, became a preschool teacher. So I kind of left the Cockies because of that tragedy. And, it was just, we were young kids when that happened to Paul, and it was like, we weren't mature enough to take it. And then, so I became a preschool teacher, and that's where the Wiggles came from, so...
Or just being around little kids? You singing songs or something?
Yeah, you do singing songs and stuff like that, but also I listened to the children's music out at the time, and I thought, wow, the Cockies had a bit of an edge to it, so we'll make a preschool group with, you know, a bit of rock in it, and it worked.
And on your way. So how did it go, like, mentally? Like, you go from being, you know, living the dream, you're a rock star. You know, you're playing it out, you're living the life. And all of a sudden, next time you see yourself on telly, you're actually sort of dancing around. The dance moves are a little bit different, and like to kids, like what's it like from an ego point of view? How was that?
Oh, it's totally different, Freddie. But the Cockies were going up and down the coast. In those days, you could play a pub, and you didn't even have to be signed by a record label. The live scene was so good. We'd be playing with Hoodoo Gurus, In Excess, Radio Birdmen. All these guys are playing around the place. We'd be going up and down. It was, we're living the life, and going back to uni and being a teacher was probably the exact opposite, but it was good, man. Yeah, it's still great.
You not only had the responsibility of performing, but you had the responsibility of the production aspect of it as well, like you're nearly the captain coach of the team. Like, how did you handle that?
Well, you know, I had a bit of experience from the Cockies. So in the Cockies, we had a bit of success, right? And what happened is we had this big, you know, top 10 hit, couple of top 10 hits, and Johnny, the songwriter, my brother, I remember he got a royalty check for like 80 grand, and all of us got like about $100. But we loved Johnny. It was not, this is not, so when the Wiggles started, I said, guys, to stop any, we're going to make whoever writes the song great, but the four of us get the royalties. Everyone gets the royalties.
Wow.
That was the best decision ever. So it just took all the. There was no, not that those guys would ever do it anyway, but yeah, that was one of the things that I learned from the Cockies.
Do you mind me asking a number? What the Wiggles has generated over all that time? Is there a figure?
Oh,
if you don't mind me asking.
No, and I honestly wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, mate.
Are we in the hundreds of millions?
Oh, probably, yeah.
How cool is that?
But yeah, it's been amazing. But it's been amazing, mate. Yeah.
So what was it like? Because the original Wiggles stayed together for so long.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and I suppose as we grew, we watched it less because our kids all watched it.
Yeah.
But what's it been like, sort of bringing people into the Wiggles, and how do you choose colours and all? You know, like, because it's a life.
Mate, you know, with a footy sort of analogy, I reckon some of our teams have been better than other teams, and at the moment we've got a team that everybody's supporting each other. We've got all different, you know, talents, and I'm loving it at the moment. There've been times on the road when things are hard with, you know, different members and things like that, but we're adults, you know. So, but lately it's been great.
You're a Mad Tigers fan, West Tigers. Now, Api Coruscant and Jerome Luai, they've come on board with us.
Yeah, to do a song.
Yeah.
We thought we'd do a song that. Yeah, we did a couple of songs to play during the game, and there are dance moves as well with them.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
not How to Get Beat by 40.
No.
That's not a dance move.
We actually wrote a victory song, and every person we told that to said, "Oh, how many times they're going to play it."
Well, Jerome's he's a bit of a singer, isn't he?
He's not just a bit of a singer.
He plays.
Guys, have you heard him sing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna produce him if he lets me, because he could be a worldwide star. He's got a voice that's.
He's Fijian, isn't he? So they're known to have fairly good voices.
Api or Jerome?
Jerome.
No.
Jerome. Api was there too, but yeah.
Because a lot of the Polynesian boys grow up singing in church. Yeah. That's probably where he's learned how.
That's right. But he's not only knows how to sing, he's got the voice, a God's gift voice. Wow, man. Yeah, he's incredible.
I know you did a thing there with Cookie, Tommy, and AJ. Out of those three boys, who was the star? I could just see Tom Burgess being so.
Yeah, he's got the. No, I don't want to say it because they're watching, but yeah, Tom.
Cookie looks good as an elf. That's his perfect job.
Cookie was great. Look at Tom. AJ was great too. No, AJ was really good too. They were all really good. Look at them. We did that about 10 years earlier with a couple of other South boys. We had Rocket Reddy's son.
Joel Reddy.
Yeah. And I can't remember who. But anyway, Lottie.
Lottie
Lottie came out.
What about celebrity fans? One in particular Robert De Niro absolutely loves the Wiggles, and I think we got a clip of him. They asked him a question on the red carpet recently about, do you watch much TV? And it's, the joys of TV. Here it is.
Life changed and your viewing habits changed. How have your viewing habits changed when you became...
Sure, I watch the Wiggles, Miss Rachel, Lippy, and there'll be more to come, God knows.
Backstage, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It was a very...
So he was doing a fanboy to the Wiggles.
Oh, he did. And what was funny about it, we play Madison Square Garden and we get a phone call. Our manager gets a phone call. Guys, can you hold the show? Can you hold the show 15 minutes? Bobby's late. we will, you know what?
Oh, that's red hot.
I just went, yeah, let's hold it. But we didn't. But we got on. And after the show, we met Bobby. And he, what was incredible at the Union in America, in New York, at Madison Square Garden, we were about to take a photo with him. And this is before the mobile phones and all that. And the lighting guy came over from Madison Square and said, if you take a photo, that's $15,000, which we should have paid looking back, because we have to light it. So we never got a photo with Robert De Niro with him, but he came backstage, it was crazy.
Was that when it went big time, when it went over to the States? The game at the moment, the NRL, has taken a couple of games to Las Vegas, we would have seen last week, but is that where it really hit the big time?
Oh, absolutely, Billy. We were going over to America with Steve Irwin, and Steve, which was really funny, he wasn't known in Australia, but he happened to do an ad for, I think it was UPI, one of those. He did an ad where he was Steve, and that went around America. That's where he became really famous, and we were put on Disney Channel 4 times a day, and that's where we became amazing.
What about the Balmain Wiggle? There was strong male that you wanted to buy, the West Tigers. Tell the story.
Well, the backstory is, it was at the time when the Tigers were really struggling and things. No, I'm still riding high on 2005, but it was just getting really depressing. And I at Bella Vista Hotel, I was watching Benny and Blocker, and they were doing one of those speeches where you talk to everyone. And I said, "Oh, come up and talk." And Benny goes, "Oh, would you buy the Tigers if you could?" And at the time, things were looking bad. And I went, "Look, if I won the Italian lottery, I'd buy the Tigers tomorrow." Right? I did say that. And the next day, it was the Telegraph. I bought the Tigers.
So you won the Italian.
Yeah. And now I wouldn't have said it now, because I think they're feeling great. Richo's rocking it, and it just feels like a bit of...
Is there a frustrated rugby league player inside you? What would you give to play for the Tigers?
Oh, yeah, I would have given any. I loved rugby league. I grew up in Lalor Park, and I played for St Bernadettes. And those were the days, and Mum and Dad used to take us to... We used to watch Eric Sims play, and all the guys out at Penrith Park, and it was great, mate.
What position were you?
I was a lock.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Which...
Tackle machine.
I made a big mistake years ago. They were doing a promotion for Live Your Dream, and I said, well, my dream would be to be a West Tiger, and they put Benji in the big red car with Brett Hodgson, and I think Liam Fulton. Yeah. And they were doing wheelies and all that, and they said, well, if you want to be Tiger, would you let Benji tackle you? And I did, and I did 2 ribs.
Well, that must be bad, because Benji's not known for his tackle.
Your dodgy shoulders.
It was bad, man.
First tackle,
but
Benji.
There's the reality. You guys...
Only joking, Benji. Who's your top 2 or 3 players that you used to love watching throughout your whole life?
When I was I used to love Artie Beetson. Doing all the cut sleeves and all that. It was when he was with Balmain. With the West Tigers, I really did love Robbie Farah, and I still think he gave everything, and Benji and Scott Prince. There's 4, but Scott Prince, I think, was the unknown. Well, he's not unknown, but there was a lot of... It was all Benji, but it really, when Scott went...
well, he played between Robbie and Benji.
Yeah, there you go.
That would have been difficult, actually, playing
between them. Because
they were only kids. They were really young.
They're both very dominant players.
He was a bit more experienced.
Yeah. What about touring? Is the tour coming up for the Wiggles?
Yeah, I'm going to say unfortunately, but we were going for 3 months, which is a bit unfortunate for someone my age, but I'm going. We're going to England and America. And before that, we're going with UNICEF to Timor, which will be great. Just for 3 days. So
South of France? You're going to the south of France?
Do you know about the way we ran into...
He brought you undone, didn't he? Mount Druitt Freddie.
Oh, he did all right, don't worry. He did all right.
He was incredible. Well, I was walking with my nephew, Luke. We were over there to sell television at Cannes. And I said to Luke, oh, that guy there looks like a French Freddie Fiddler.
It was.
Because he's sitting back and he had the big sunglasses. But it was Freddie. We had a week of incredible fun.
And you just had some fun?
Incredible. And he was bonding with his son. It was so good to see, mate. Yeah.
So good. Well, I know you're off to Combank this afternoon. What are you expecting?
I'm so worried about it. We lost last week, and every Tigers fan we're never confident, but we've got a good team. But
they'll be right.
Well, thanks for coming on, and good luck today.
So you see the depression roll in.
Mate, I reckon it's going to be a cracking game.
I think
and you'll see it live on 3 on 9. So thanks for coming in. Good to see someone who loves footy so much.
Love it, mate.
Legend.
Welcome to the passing competition. So no bloody arguments, you understand? No foot fault there, Greeny. And a 10. No pressure, Luke. This is one of the more important things that happens here on the Sunday, understand? Oh, beautiful. Rounds of applause.
Oh yes, it is back by popular demand. Freddie's pass off, and today we have some beautiful kids from the Northwest Hawks Rugby League Club. So we have Dylan, I'm hopefully getting this right, Dylan, Corey, Tyler and Kayla and their president Rob. Thanks for coming on. Excited? Yep. Big round of applause for the Northwest Hawks. So the NRL is rewarding clubs that are playing in the spirit of the game and doing the right things. So well done to the Northwest Hawks for getting selected and handpicked by the NRL. And you now have the chance to win a $5,000 equipment pack for your club. So the winner at the end of the year can win that. So Freddie, I'm going to hand it over to you. Right. You'll explain how it's working today.
So by the way, the Hawks were out of Dural. So if you're a young kid looking for a game of footy, get over to the Northwest Hawks, doing a great job there. Thanks to Rob and their Hawk. We're going to have a triple treat today.
Night out.
Jai Arrow, he's going to be up first. He's going to do some passing. Then we've got the blue wiggle, Anthony Field. And then we're going to have, which one's going to step up? You are. What's your name? Dylan. Dylan's going to step up and do it. So 30 seconds each side. Throw as many as you can. Last week was pretty good, actually. I've got to say.
No pressure.
You stand here.
And
Toby Root.
Help collect the balls if you want.
2:37, Ronaldo.
Yep.
All right.
So
count him down,
I'll give you
Fred.
a countdown. We need someone over here. Come on.
Teach Cody Walker a lesson.
Here we go. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Good start. Good start. There's a 7. Yeah.
Not bad.
Good boy. Oh, I'll pass it to you, all right? Yep.
Oh, come on.
Oh, sorry.
Billy, sabotage. He's sabotaging one of his own. That's a 1. Oh.
Cody won't be happy with
He's
that.
fatiguing.
There's a 5. He's fatiguing already. It's that shoulder.
Bad side.
There's a 7. There's a 5. 5 to go, Jai. 5 to go before we turn around. That's a none.
That's a none.
Swap sides.
Swap sides.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep. Oh, we go. Fine now. Mate, you got to throw more, mate.
Get in the groove.
Yeah, more. That's it. Now you're talking.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
There's a 7.
Oh, good.
That's a nothing.
1 through.
I've never seen so many nothings.
10 seconds to go. Come on, Joe.
There we go.
Couple of
Finish
tens.
strong, mate.
Couple of
Finish
big ones.
strong. Finish strong.
Yeah.
5, 4,
There we go.
3, 2, 1.
1.
Oh.
Alrighty, not bad. Not bad.
That's harder than you think.
Not bad for a forward.
Awesome 180.
What's up next, Anthony?
Anthony Field.
He's going to kill me, man.
Wait for the score.
2:13.
2:13.
You got beat by a winger. No, not really. Not really. All right, you ready?
Yeah, mate.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
a 0.
Got to throw him harder, mate.
not bad.
There we go. That's a 7.
Come on. Wake
Your
up,
muscles.
Jeff. Wake up, Jeff. Wake up, Jeff.
Wake up.
Need some music.
Here we go. That's a 1.
Just 1.
Yeah!
Keep going.
Yeah!
Just ring down.
Okay, I got it now.
Yeah!
I got it now.
Ready, Freddie. Oh, if you get beat by the
Swap sides.
you're in
Swap
stride,
sides,
John.
Anthony.
Swap sides.
Yep.
Swap sides.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This one.
You got to throw more, mate. You got to throw more. More.
Up
Lean on
was
that front leg.
This is so bad. Lead on the front leg. Listen to Joey.
Footwork.
Footwork.
Back leg to front leg.
Back leg to front leg.
Ready?
Get this one in. Yeah!
10 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Fire him in.
This is...
5,
When you come off the shoulder operation.
3,
I'll tell you what, change your career
2,
after
1.
this.
Yeah.
That was fake.
One more.
Wow.
Oh, stop it.
Not bad. Not bad.
The 8 of us.
We're going to get the score clock up. Hey, you're a singer, not a footy player. That's not bad. Couple of seconds and we're going to get the score up.
Yeah, couple of seconds.
Couple of seconds. I'm not sure. What do you think?
214, let me guess.
No, way.
123.
2-3.
Okay, that's not
Anyways.
too bad. We'll forgive you. It's Dylan. Correct.
Dylan.
Right, Dylan's our final
You're up
one.
here, buddy.
All right, Dylan.
He looks good.
Here we go. You ready? You jump in behind. He's going to get plenty of 10s.
Who's your favourite player? You got one? Sam Walker. Channel Sam
Bigger than
Walker,
Sam,
right?
so-
You look
Come
like
on. Let's go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Hey!
Go. You got to throw more.
Pop it.
Keep going.
Keep it going, mate.
Oh,
That's it. 4 in a row.
Hey, you want to play for Newcastle next week?
Yo.
We'll get you 13 million.
You got to throw more.
Go, Dylan.
Go, Dylan. Fire him through there.
Oh, yeah.
You got him.
Yep.
Get you 26 million.
Oh, look at this.
Yes.
Wow.
NRL player in the making right here.
5 seconds. 2,
You got him.
1, change over.
Offsides.
Offsides.
Get your foot behind the line. Don't cheat. Don't cheat.
Says Freddie.
No
He
deal.
played at the Roosters.
Here we go.
Go,
Ah,
Dylan.
yes.
Nice.
On fire.
Pass.
Stop it.
Pass.
There's a 7. They're coming a bit side
go,
left. Come on.
10 seconds, Dylan. Let's go.
Let's go, Dylan.
7. Any more?
You're going to beat Jai's score here, mate.
5, 4,
Smashing it.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, finish with a 5.
Well done. Round of applause for Dylan, everyone. From
On
the
you, Dylan.
Northwest Hawks.
Rim down, Jai.
I think he's beaten Jai and Anthony. We'll get the official count. Takes about 5 seconds. But
Oh.
291.
Leaderboard will be after the break.
All right, everyone, getting close. We're going to get the official leaderboard after the break, but one big round of
Bang.
applause once more for the Northwest Hawks. Well done, everybody. We're looking forward to having some more superstars coming on next week for another edition of Freddie's Pass Off. We'll see you soon. We are calling all future broadcasters. Our brand new Sunday Footy Sidekick competition could have your child hosting their own segment, interviewing players, chatting to the experts, even calling in the commentary box. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now. You upload a video and tell us in 25 words or less while your child is perfect for the job. So that was beautiful Parker, who did the first one, Alana Ferguson's daughter. So if you want to get involved and have a crack like Parker did, QR code right now on the bottom of your screen. So that's an exciting thing, that is for sure. We're going to take a quick look at the leaderboard for Freddie's Pass Off. So we had Ronaldo on last week. He's currently in the lead. Jai Arrow, not bad for a forward, and Anthony Wiggle.
What about the young fella? He got nearly 300. Do we just brush him?
I think we got a separate
we've got a
one
junior
for
league
a
start.
junior league. So this is the official first week of the junior league
Right.
competition. So
291.
yeah,
That's a score.
he was very good. So and just reiterating, they do win $5,000 worth of equipment for their club at the end of the year. So the NRL will be picking those teams, and looking forward now to our Sunday Arvo game right here on 9. It is the Eels and the Tigers. The Tigers, Freddie, first time we're really going to see this new spine together because we didn't have Jahream Buller or Aki Coruscant playing last week. You're looking forward to seeing them linking up for the first time.
I cannot wait. Obviously, there's a bit of a going back to the Penrith connection of Jahream and Appy, so I think that's going to benefit them, no doubt. And also the fact we're talking about like the Knights. They've been most probably one of the better teams over the first 2 weeks. They just got beat by the Knights, and I think they're a very young team. They're going to take a while to learn to win. They've got a lot of really key players that have done it for a long time, but I think as a group they'll learn, and I can see them firing today. It's going to be hot, and I just reckon they'll have too much energy.
This guy on screen's a star as well, and he played with a shoulder injury last year, had that fixed up throughout the summer, and missed round 1, so he'll be playing his first game of the year, Jahream Buller, so keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, Appy will straighten their attack, more of a real ruck attack threat. I'd love to see him get with Jahream Buller around the ruck. But, yeah, Appy, the way he plays with those markers, he'll really straighten the attack up.
The Eels got pumped last week by the Storm, and the following day all of the news came out about Dylan Brown heading to the Knights. Do you think that now he's spoken and he's had a week for it all to die down, that he'll be in a better place mentally heading into this one, Freddie?
I think he needs this game. I think after this game will be better. This will be the first time he gets to play in front of his home crowd. So I think after today everyone will just get on with it. But, you know, they need to win. They need to be a lot better than they were last week. They were terrible.
Well, they got blown away in the first half by the Melbourne Storm. Their second half was much improved. So they'll be taking some positives out of that and trying to start their game like that.
Quick tips?
Tigers.
Tigers more than just.
3 from 3 Tigers. Stay with us here on the Sunday Footy Show. We're going to wrap it all up after this short break. See you in a sec. Big show of 100% footy coming up tomorrow night, straight after maps around 9 p.m. Cameron Smith is in the studio and a very special guest, James Tedesco, as well. Plus, Michael Chalmers sits down one-on-one with Dylan Brown, the $14 million man. Looking forward to that one. Steering the ship, as always, the great James Bracey. Looking forward to the footy this afternoon and the other match as well, the Doggies up against the Titans, which has been relocated to Belmore. Who are we going with on this one?
I think I'm going to go the Dogs.
Dogs in a high-scoring game.
Yeah,
Titans will be a lot better this year.
Yeah, interesting to see how their spine combined, but yeah, Dogs have got the runs on the board.
There we go. At Belmore, you'd imagine that would be a packed house there with all of the...
Sold out.
Oh, it's going to be incredible. And of course, we're all going to be at CommBank Stadium. The Eels hosting the mighty West Tigers. Anthony Field will be there as well. He was incredible on Turn It Up. Hope you all enjoyed the Sunday Footy Show. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you all next week for another edition of the Sunday Footy Show.